All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? We'll just go ahead and kick it off, get it rolling. We've got CG Shadow 2, Richard Jenkins, Lynn Holt. How are you doing, Lynn? So I'll grab me a drink here and we will get it going. Got a little, what is this? Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace this evening. Hello, Casey. How are you? All right. I've got some questions here, and then I was asked a question. CZ Shadow 2 said he was looking at his first aftermarket comp, the HC9C from Harrington Arms. I actually have that comp on my Glock, and it's a really good comp. I did some testing on it. I've got videos on it if you want to check it out, but it does work. So really do like it. Richard is asking, Big J, are you excited about any of the cars coming out this year? Um, I mean, I guess, you know, I mean, I like muscle cars. I like trucks, of course. There's nothing that's just jumping up and down at me, honestly. Um, I'm in that business, but I mean, if y'all aren't aware, Ford is coming out with the new, well, they've had it overseas, but the new Raptor, or excuse me, it's going to be a Raptor Ranger. If anybody's interested in something like that, but the car prices right now, truck prices, I mean, they are insane. If y'all know about that, um, hell, even the used truck and car market is insane right now. So, it's just, it is what it is. Hello, Guy Comet, how are you? But there's nothing that's just jumping up and down at me right now. Hang on one second. It kicked me over to something else. God dang it. I hate that. Hello, Guy Comet. CR Jr., how are you? Oh, Chuck Jr. A Dubs, Milkman, Scott79, Paul H. Chris from the 740. What's up, man? If y'all haven't checked out Chris from the 740, he's got a YouTube channel, fairly newer, and it's got some good stuff over there. He does chats also. He might even have a chat tonight after mine. So if y'all aren't familiar with him, please subscribe to him. Go over and check him out. Yes, they are discontinuing the Charger and Challenger. From what I understand, well, of course, they're coming out with the electric versions. So there are going to be an electric version Challenger and a Charger, supposedly. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but they do have, it's supposed to be the ultimate electric car. It's supposed to be the fastest. So we'll see. And it's going to be the first electric car with actually a motor noise. So I don't know how it's going to sound like. I don't know what they're going to do to it. Matter of fact, a lot of people have said it's going to be the electric CUDA. I have seen pictures of it, but I can't really talk about it. But it looks pretty damn mean. So you could go on and see their little sneak picture or their sneak video of it if you want to check that out. That's not really going to give it away, but there you go. Hello, Rabbi. How are you, sir? Yeah, I was going to say now is the time to sell. If you've got anything worth value as far as vehicles, you can get some good money for it. And I know your vehicle's worth some money. Hello, Denton. How are you? Cajun Tigers, Keith Gregory. Hey, no problem, brother. That's the thing about me. We all started as small channels. I'm still a small channel compared to many people. So I was helped. I try to help out everybody that I can. So, hello, Keith Gregory. How are you, man? Baseball cards on the wheel spokes. Yep, I remember that. Putting the little clothespins on them. Hell yeah. Let's see here. Is the recoil substantially less on the P10F than the P10C? I've owned a few P10Cs, but on the fence with the P10F. Paul, I'm just going to be real honest with you. I am not a recoil sensitive guy. I've said that numerous times. However, the P10F is a bigger gun. It's a heavier gun. So it is going to be naturally less recoil, just because it's larger and heavier. But it is what it is. I mean, I really love the P10F, but I love the P10Cs also. So that might be something. Also, if you're recoil sensitive, I mean, if you are, or you don't like a lot of recoil, I mean, by simply putting a flashlight on it, that can help, and I've said this way back when. I mean, I've had flashlights on lights on guns forever, but, simply putting a flashlight on it, that's basically a weight. So, I mean, you've got the battery weight and all this other stuff. And I'll share a little hint with you. Back in the day, when you would see guys running flashlights, and there were a lot of the stream lights because that was the most popular, um, and you would see them sitting there just hammering down on it, no recoil, none of that stuff. They were taking these flashlights, pulling the batteries out of them, and they were filling them with steel shot or lead weight, and also coins. Because I saw a video where a guy set his gun down with the light on it, and you can hear, ching. I mean, sounded like freaking loose change. So a lot of people use these as basically frame weights. I mean, they are purpose driven for me, but you know, if the front end's a little snappy, throw a freaking flashlight on it. So, all right, let's see here. Hello, Floridian. How are you, man? Where'd it go here? So I got to shoot a sporterized Mosin Nagant while out hog hunting, iron sights at 100 meters, and I was off by 3 inches. That thing kicked me in the shoulder. Taught me to respect it. Yeah, I mean, you know, Mosin Nagants, I mean, they are what they are, but yeah, it's definitely a solid piece of wood. I did want to share something with y'all that I thought was different. Let me know if, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not any of that stuff. Okay. The other day, Sleepy Joe announced something on Casper guns. I'm not going to say the word, but Casper guns. Okay. Needless did he say, they found all these Casper guns and all this other stuff. Basically, it's not just P80s, and y'all know where I'm going with this. It's not just P80s. It's any pew pew that basically had the serial number ground off of it. So if it has the serial number ground off of it, like a lot of criminals do, they can't trace it. So what are they going to call it? They're going to call it a Casper gun. So that's why the Casper guns are, so many of them supposedly. But he's announcing all this stuff. Not even 24 hours later. I mean, I don't even know if it was 16 hours later. All of a sudden, they had this thing happen in New York. Y'all are probably all aware of it, have already seen it. But the subway cameras were down, and they announced that this person, and this is the way they said it, there's a man on the loose. He's 5'5", a man. They didn't give race, anything, which I thought was kind of weird. So he's on the run, look out for him, but we don't know color. All we know is he's 5'5", blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, he's a black gentleman or a black man. He is 6'2", and had all these threats that he had been posting supposedly. And he was taken off the FBI watch list, supposedly. Y'all think anything's weird about that? I mean, remember somebody hung themselves in prison and the cameras were broken? I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. DC, he is saying if CZ is watching this, optics ready PO7. I doubt they'll ever make that. I mean, you can take it and get it milled. I mean, there's places milling them. I've got mine milled. I would rather have a flat mill than run a plate anyway. I've said that before. That way it's direct milled and you can get it lower. But I love my my milled PO7. It's a great pistol. Well, what they're going after, there's two versions of those kits. One comes with a slide, and I think that's the one they're really freaking out about. I think it's called Ready to Run kit or something like that. Yep, Lynn Holt, I'm in agreement. NYC was definitely rigged. No hits in a subway car, only a few feet away. I heard the news report and cringed because they don't have after port back and already banned guns. Yeah. And, here's the thing where you could totally flip that. Think about it this way. New York City, of course, we had that thing in Sacramento not too long ago, where they did in California. Those are two of the biggest non-gun states. Okay. What if they armed the people? What if they let the people have guns in this? I mean, they did have some crazy guy go crazy on a subway, and he had a bunch of armed people on there. They could take out that attacker, so he couldn't hurt other people. I mean, think about it that way. You've got mayors, you've got presidents, you've got all these other people that have security guards. So they're not carrying the gun. They have other people carrying the gun for them to do the dirty work. But if, like people say, and I always say at the end of every one of my videos, an armed nation or an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all have to carry on. That means carry a gun on us. Or an armed nation is a polite nation or polite society. So rather than de-arming everybody, why don't they arm everybody? I mean, at the end of the day, you're responsible for your protection of yourself and your family at the end of the day. If you choose to help others, hey, great. If something like that happened around me, I'd be willing to help others. I would be in that same situation. So I don't know. What's up, Reloading? How are you, man? Yes, there is, sir. Yes, there is. It's just really coincidental. I've heard, I actually was talking to some friends and I sent them that and I'm like, isn't that weird? And one of the friends said it was just timing. And I'm like, it was perfect timing. Hello, Will and Will Arm. How are you, man? Yep, that's what I was saying. My common sense meter is off the charts right now. For sure. All right, so we got that one out of the way. But what I'm saying is another thing when you're describing a person, they could be Caucasian, Asian, Black, Hispanic, however you want to do it. But they said this is a man 5'5". And they're like, be aware if you see anything, you're not even giving an accurate description. So they didn't want to say the word black in the description. Seriously? It's so stupid. Let's see here. Oh, also, I don't know if y'all are aware of it. In Texas, we took our first bus load, or they shipped the first bus load of illegal aliens or illegal immigrants, however you want to say it, illegals. Bust them, put them on a bus, charter bus, and drop them off in Washington, D.C. on the porch today. Didn't know if y'all saw that, but it was real. Our governor's tired of it. They're coming across our borders like crazy. So he is going to have charter buses loading them up and taking them to Washington, D.C. So they want to take care of them. They can take care of them. We've got plenty of them. We don't need any more. So I don't know if y'all saw that, but I'm proud of him for doing that. Let's see here. Slide cuts worth the cost, and do they ever affect reliability? I've never seen a mill, or put it this way, I've got tons of them that I've had milled, and I've never had any reliability issues. Like when you do, I will say this: if you do like a 1911, 2011, things like that, you might just have to change the recoil spring to a little heavier because you're adding some weight. But most of your modern striker fire guns and things like that, even the P07, they're oversprung. And I don't know if you're familiar with that terminology, but they're oversprung. So by simply adding an optic to it, you're not going to change anything like that. On some more tuned guns, you might have to change the recoil spring, but it's super simple. I mean, I tuned my STI, my original STI, the 5-inch that I had milled, and all that stuff, and it's all good to go. Yeah, you can actually look at the description. It's a written article. And they said, a man 5'5". I mean, it's crazy. Sorry about that. People blowing up my phone at the perfect time. Yes, I did see that Georgia got its constitutional carry. That's awesome. It looks like Nebraska did not get theirs by 2 votes. 2 votes, and they didn't get theirs. That's crazy. Yes, I did see that. So they could try to list it as a hate crime. But supposedly, he was, you know, all upset at he was racial or something, supposedly. Yep, Greg Abbott is governor. Some people don't like him. I mean, I don't agree with him on every single thing he's ever done, but he and Ken Paxton are definitely standing up for Texas. They're not taking any bullshit, which is good. They're not folding like a lawn chair. Hey, what's up, Two Will and Nut? How are you, man? Yep, drop them all off. Big J, I remember you doing some videos on the Mantis X training system. Still recommend it. Yes, I actually have it right here. I still use it quite a bit. This is the little Mantis one. Now they make multiple ones. I've got the Laser Academy one and all that stuff, and I'm not saying that it's bad. I honestly think that the Mantis, the little, gosh, what is it? The X10. I think it's the X10. It's this little one that you can put on your rail, and it comes with the charging. It's got everything in here. I highly recommend this one. It's awesome. Really, really do like it. And you got an app on your phone. Matter of fact, you can, if your other buddies or whomever have the app also, and they've got one, and say they're even in a different state, you can actually challenge them, and you can kind of do it online, and like back and forth. It's pretty neat. But I really do like it a lot. I'm not just saying that. The laser one, not that anything's wrong with it. It's actually really good, but I find this one more useful to me. That's just my opinion. Let's see here. He was carrying an AR-14 with a 100 round mag and silencer. Yeah, and I don't know if you also heard, they said that he had an automatic weapon. It was a Glock 17, and it was not automatic. So there you go. Let's see here. DC, are you a revolver guy, Big J? No, I actually have 3 revolvers. People don't think that I do, but I own 3 revolvers, 238s and one 357. Y'all have to remember, and everybody forgets, I'm an old dude. I was shooting revolvers before freaking Glocks were out. 1911s and revolvers were what we had, and shotguns, of course, and deer rifles. Um, and ARs were out too, but I didn't really shoot ARs till a lot later. Um, Revolvers are okay, um, and I actually used to shoot them pretty good back in the day. They're just not my they're just not my gig. They're not my. A lot of them have really heavy, triggers, and you can tune them. I know that. I tune my other guns. You can have trigger work done on them, but they're just. I'm not saying they're bad because they're actually great guns, but they're just not. They're not me. So, matter of fact, I haven't shot a revolver. Oh, well, take that back. The last time I shot a revolver is I shot Bald's Chiappa Rhino, and God, that was 3 or 4 years ago, or three. I don't remember now, but it was a long ass time ago. That's the last time I've shot a revolver. Prior to that, hell, it's probably been 15 years ago, and I've got them, but not that they're bad. I'm not hating on anybody's revolver. Hello, Pranic. How are you? Got a Harry's holster for the P365. I love it so far. Used your code too. Thanks. Hey, thanks, Pranic. I appreciate it. Yeah, Harry makes good stuff, man. Really does. Also, and that's why, you know, some people were asking me questions prior to the chat and I was answering, but then I had to run because somebody knocked on my door and I got a package, and I'll go over it probably on a separate video. It is from Tandem Cross. If y'all are familiar with Tandem Cross, I do have an affiliate link with them. It's basically, it really doesn't give you a discount. It's just if you choose to use it, they give me a little kickback for recommending them. But I've used Tandem Cross parts forever. I mean, I've bought tons of them, but they did send me these for the TX22. I'm going to be tricking it all out. So I do have an affiliate link with them. If you check out the last two Taurus videos, the link is in there if you want to buy something. And you can use it. You can just go in there and you can go to different. They have like the Ruger PCC, the Ruger pistols, the TX25. I mean, they've got all kinds of stuff. So feel free to use that if you choose to. Like I said, it just helps out the channel a little bit. You know, if you want to. I'm not one of those that's going to make you or hound the hell out of you. Why does everyone want to ban guns with crazy, or when a crazy acts out? Do we ban Hondas when someone hits a pedestrian? Ban Coors beer when someone drinks and drives? Ban McDonald's for obesity? It's upsetting. I totally agree with you. I've said this numerous times. You know, if you look, and another thing people don't realize, and you can Google it, I'm not making this up. One of the number one kids dying issue is swimming pools. Swimming pools, they drowned. Are we going to ban swimming pools? You know, and if you think about it, a criminal, if he can't get a gun, he's going to get a hammer. He's going to get a knife. He's going to get an ice pick. He's going to use whatever he can to hurt someone, a club, a rock, whatever he's got to find to use, he's going to use. So a gun is just a tool. If we light a gun in the middle of the street, it's never going to go off until that bad guy puts his finger on it. So it's not a gun issue. It's a crazy person issue. That's the problem. And we've got people on uppers, downers, antidepressants, you name it, people are on it. And they don't, you know, say, oh yeah, this guy was on 14 prescription drugs. They never say that. They just say it's the gun's fault. The gun did it. It's not a gun issue. It's an idiot issue. And there's a lot of freaking idiots out there. Oh, DC, check it out. He's at BWW, Buffalo Wild Wings. Brought his phone in into the restroom so I wouldn't miss a thing. All right, man. Appreciate that. Game, let's see here. Thanks for the heads up. I'm getting ready to order another Game Changer comp for the Tandem Cross. Yeah, and that's, if you do get the TX22, I'm just going to let you know, they are actually making the factory comp. They're making the factory comp for the new Taurus TX22 Steel Match Edition. And it's actually, if you look at it, it's kind of hard to see in this package, but it is actually molded to the TX22 frame. So it actually has the fit and kind of the function of it. But I think that's kind of cool. So there's something there too. But, you know, I'm excited about tricking this thing out. And matter of fact, Chris from the 740 actually has a badass video of how to put the trigger in, because I got one of their triggers. So I watched his video. So if you ever want to put in a TX22 trigger from Tandem Cross, Chris has a good video on it. So I'm probably going to use his video. Very impressed with the Taurus. Excited to see the Tandem Cross parts on it. Yeah, I mean, you know, I was looking for, and I explained this in the video, but I was looking, and not many people are watching those videos. It's pretty amazing. I guess, you know, I'm not known for 22s. However, I've been shooting them forever. I've got a bunch of other 22s on my channel. But, and I know that this gun's been out for way over a year. I know that. You know, and the newness has kind of worn off. But, you know, I mean, I'm liking it so far. It's a lot of fun. I've got another part 3 that'll come out this week, and you'll probably really like that one. So But yeah, just, I've been running a bunch of ammo through it. I've ran 6 different types of ammo now, and I can see some that it really, really likes, some that it might be a little finicky on. However, it's new. Just to let you know, I have over 400 rounds through it. I've been adding it all up. I've got a little over, and I've got the book in the bag with it, so that way I can keep a good ammo count, or I guess round count on it, because people might ask. So, but so far, the more I run it, the better it's getting. I know it probably had a break in, and some ammo, is just 22 ammo. It's going to do what it's going to do. But so far, I am really liking it. And of course, y'all know that I'm a dot person. That's why I definitely wanted to get the competition version. My dad taught me how to swim and how to use a firearm. Yeah, back in the day, I was even a lifeguard. Yeah, I used to be a swimming freak. I mean, I still know how to swim, of course. Yeah. And that's another thing. If you think about it, even with whatever gun laws you put out there, criminals do not buy their guns from gun shops. They don't. They buy them from trunks of cars and alleys and from the cartel. I mean, they get them. Matter of fact, I think the cartel actually provides them. But, um, you know, if you want, I mean, it's criminals are going to do what they're going to do. So, but anyway, if you want to use the affiliate link, it's on those 2 videos. I'll put it on the next Taurus video, so that way you'll have it. Also, on my, I do have an M&P 1522. A lot of people don't know that, or maybe you don't know that. I love the little rifle. It's a lot of fun to shoot. Uncle Dan a while back gave me a rain trigger, or a rise. I'm sorry, a rise trigger. And I've got that rise in one of my PDWs, and I really do like the trigger. And I was like, man, I hate this mil spec trigger in this M&P. So anyway, put the rise trigger in it, and it's awesome. So, I have some stuff coming out. Got a video that I've already made, and it had the stock trigger in it. But now I've got the rise trigger in it, and I'm really enjoying it. And I did test function afterwards, and it runs great. So, also, how we talk about, think of each other, or I always try to say that, think of one another. We do have a brother in the community that's having some health issues. So I'm not going to mention his name. I don't feel that that's my place. Um, However, he's in the community. He's a friend of mine, and he is having some health issues. He found out some bad news, but he is getting a second opinion. So I know you don't know who it is, so you can't pay for or pray for them individually, but just in the community, I'll just let you know he's tuning in. Would like y'all to pray for his family and himself. Hopefully, he'll get some better news. But right now, that's where we are with that. So you know, things happen. So I always try to stay positive, but sometimes it happens. Um, and this Taurus, I was like, I like my Ruger, and I do love it. It just doesn't have enough capacity, like I was saying before. And Triple C and Uncle Dan have been harassing the shit out of me to get a Taurus, uh, gosh, forever. So anyway, I sent them both texts, and I was like, I'm getting a damn Taurus. And so anyway, they were the ones that pushed me to get it. So I want to give them a little credit. But let's see here. I think we've already gone over that. Sorry, I'm just making sure we're getting all these things noted for everyone. I got excited to see the last Rex Zero is optics ready until I saw it had no decocker. What the hell? Anyone know if they have a decocker version? I don't know if they do or not, to be honest with you, but you could carry it cocked and locked like a 1911. You just have to remember to flip the safety off. So it's just something to train around, but it can be done. Golly, he is blowing me up. Hang on 1 second. Sorry about that. Oh, reloading from the hot pot, saying thumbs up, people. Yes, I would appreciate the thumbs up. Hello, James Johnson. How are you? Channel Cat Chaser is saying Ruger 22 LR pistols are going to price themselves out of the market for some people. Yes, I've noticed that 22 are going up quite a bit, especially the steel pistols, like what Channel Cat Chaser is talking about. And here's the reason I think this, and this is, I think I said this on last week's chat. You know, we went through the ammo roller coaster of all that crap. I think that ammo is going to start going up. I did go out today and get some, and I started looking at prices, and the prices have even creeped up again. So, you know, if you're not, and I'm not one of those, you know, one of those people to scare people or anything like that, but if you don't have enough ammo, get what you need, you know, to keep you proficient, keep you loaded up, things like that. But I honestly think that a lot of people might even be starting to shoot more 22s because a lot of 22s are out of stock. I mean, when I got that Taurus, I had so many messages or, you know, comments saying, "Oh my gosh, I've been on the wait list for those for 3 months, 4 months. I'm on a wait list for another type of 22, and they haven't came in yet." So I don't know. I know a 22 is not in huge demand right this second, but I think a lot of people might be preparing if they don't have a 22 in order to train and, you know, maybe do steel challenges and play around. Because I honestly think that shooting a 22 for me is more fun than dry fire because you're actually, you know, you're not getting a lot of recoil, but in dry fire, you're not getting any recoil. I just think they're fun as hell. And, you know, when I shot that Taurus, it was like, I mean, of course, when I shoot the Ruger, also, it's like I'm a kid again. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with an old man being a kid every once in a while and just having a blast. And that's what it was about. You know, I was just not worried about accuracy. I was just plinking, having a good time. But I will say this, you know, with those 16 round mags, I mean, you can see in the videos, you know, I'll do 16, pop, 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 you know, 16, pop, 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 and then 16 again. And I mean, you know, I'm putting, gosh, what is it? 16 times three, you know, I mean, groups like that big, at 7 and 10, 15 yards. So it's just a lot of fun, you know, and that kind of goes back to, would you use a 22 as home defense? You know, I kind of asked that question. Some people were like, yeah, I already do. Or some people were like, no, I don't, but my wife does. And, you know, I guess it's whatever you feel like, you know, using it if you want to. David W. Hey, I made a live chat. All right, man. Glad to have you here. I appreciate it. Shooting the hell out of TX22, keeping the 9mm. I hear you. And you know what what I'm probably going to start doing is maybe going and shooting 22, then bringing a 2011 along, and maybe, you know, especially my carry gun or whatever else I want to dabble with, and maybe shooting a mag or two out of it before I leave. So I'll get that 22 no recoil, you know, feeling, and then go back to recoil and make sure I've got my grip squared away and stuff like that for when I leave. You know, I have my carry gun on me. But I am curious. I got some of these. I've seen them advertised, but I've never personally tried them. Let me see if I can get it to focus. For some reason, it's not focusing. Come on. This is the Federal 22 LR Punch. There it goes. It's 29 grains, you know, and it's supposed to be a defensive ammo for 22. Not that I'm going to use it for that, but I really just wanted to test it. So I might be doing some outdoor shooting, and I'll take some stuff to shoot, see what it does. So I grabbed 3 boxes of these, but man, they were $10.99 a piece. So, and that's for 50 rounds. Triple C, I told him about it, and I think he got his for $9.99. And I did see him online for $9.99, but all my stores are $10.99. As a matter of fact, I haven't even been able to find this. It's the first time I've actually seen it in a store. So I grabbed it. And then I just grabbed some other 22. You know, I was at Cabela's, so I grabbed some of this. Not that I absolutely needed it, but I don't know how great this is. If y'all have ever shot this, let me know. It is 40 grain Herters 22 LR. Hell, I think it's probably made by Winchester. Some of it's kind of hit and miss, but who knows? Hello, Mrs. Hotshot. How are you? Glad you're on. Let's see here. Really waiting on the P322 to have some time out in the field and hoping for the best. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the 322 is a great option, The only thing for me, I do have XXL hands, and not trying to brag about that, because trust me, it's not a fun thing sometimes. But from what I understand on the 322, it's kind of a grip between a P320 and a 365, so it's not super wide or anything like that. Um, and then the Taurus has the palm swell, so it's a lot thicker and it has that palm swell. And I mean, it's like when I hold that gun, it's like I'm shaking a hand. Um, so I'm not saying I won't ever get the P322. I might, but for right now, I mean, I'm really liking this Taurus, the way it fits my hand. Feels really good. So there you go. There you go. What is a good mirror or mid-tier Glock Gen 3 trigger? I mean, the Apex makes a great trigger. There's tons of trigger companies. Apex, and there's one thing that I do really like about Apex. It never loses its drop test. Apex does drop test their guns. I will tell you this. I mean, they have a Shadow 2 that they've dropped, and they don't just do a shoulder height drop. They actually do it from like the top of a shelf in a closet. It's about that high, and it actually hits concrete. So they drop test everything. Some of the triggers that are out there, they're not drop safe. So just be aware of that. I'm not saying you're going to drop your gun a lot or anything like that, but if you were trying to let a new shooter shoot it or something like that and they were scared of recoil, they could drop it. So, and it might not ever go off, but I know every one of their triggers are drop safe. They're super easy to put in. Any Glock trigger is easy to put in. And then you could actually go in and do the 25-cent trigger job. I've done it on all my Glocks. It's super easy. It's just basically pre-breaking in and polishing some parts, to kind of put some wear on them, but you're doing it with like a rubbing compound. But there you go. Favorite lever action caliber preferred for recreational and also for home defense. If it's a lever action, especially in a most basic homes, it would be the 357-38 special version. You could get the Marlin. I mean, there's all different kinds of brands, Henry, things like that. I had one of the old Marlins, one of the OG Marlins, and my dumbass sold it to a family member, and he won't sell it back to me, but he really needed it. And, a lot of lever actions are good for 50 states. So, that's something if you're in a commie state or whatever, but probably 357-38. I mean, I love, 45 long Colt is badass. What is it, 45-70? I mean, there's all kinds of 30-30. 30-30 is awesome. I even had a 30-30. I had that one for a long time. And the thing is, if I would have kept them, hell, I mean, especially right now, lever actions are insane. You used to be able to get them for like $500, even a decent one. Now they're freaking $3,000. If I had one now, and I'll tell you what is fun, is the 357-38 with the suppressor. That is a lot of fun. So. Yeah, and 22, I mean, it's great for newer shooters, things like that. Matter of fact, my wife will be going out. She knows how to shoot. I've taught her how to shoot a long time ago. She's not real crazy about the 9mm. It is a little, the blast and things kind of scares her and gets her a little jerky. She loves 22. So this weekend we'll be shooting. I'm gonna let her shoot the Taurus and kind of play around with it. And I've never, I've just shown her a dot like in the house, but I've never trained her like at the range how to shoot a dot. So we're going to be doing that this weekend so she can get target focused and not stare at the dot. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that this weekend, and I think she'll have a blast with that little Taurus. And the video that's coming out, let's just say it's quiet time. How about that? That won't give too much away, but I think y'all know where I'm going with it. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, my Glock Gen 5 and Gen 5 triggers, I don't care what you do. My Gen 3 trigger is not that great. Even with an Apex, it's better. It's a lot better, but it's not as good as the Apex trigger with my Gen 5. So, and yes, you can change the connector and make them all a lot better. Yeah, I let my wife shoot the 380s when I had them. She wasn't crazy about them because they were all freaking small. I didn't have a big 380 or a bigger 380. I just had those little mouse gun 380s, like the Bodyguard and shit like that with a horrible 10-pound trigger. So they just weren't fun to shoot. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with like a Shield EZ 380 or a Shield EZ 9mm. Matter of fact, my mother-in-law, her very first gun, just got it, not too long ago. I talked about it, but it's the Shield 9mm, because that way she could rack the slide, easy loading the mags, things like that. Um, so she has that now. But as far as any other guns, I mean, I've looked, and kind of kept my eye out, like if anything is super exciting that's coming out or anything, and there's just nothing that's like super exciting that I'm seeing. Now, if y'all are, please let me know if there's anything that's, that's getting y'all excited. Yeah, I've seen yours, but I've never shot the 1911 380, that Browning, but I have seen it. Never shot that one. I'm getting a little parched. Way back in the day, I carried, and I still have it, my Shield 1.0. And hell, I've got videos on that thing. And I mean, I can shoot the shit out of that gun, but I've got a plus. It's the only way I can kind of get my pinky on it. I've got a plus, what is it, 2 or 3? It's like a +3 on it or something. However, I will not recommend those mag extensions. I've got those videos out there and I tested the shit out of them and they didn't fail, but later on they started to fail. I'll just tell you the name. It's Hive. Because they did not introduce an additional power spring with it. You were using your original spring. And man, after about 1,000 rounds or so, I think it lost its tension and it does need a power spring. And they started taking shits. And so I will not recommend them anymore. Later on, reloading from the hot pot. What is your favorite rifle that you have shot, and how young were you when you first shot a gun? Now I shot 22s when I was really young, maybe like 5 and 6. But my first handgun was a 1911 in 45. It was my grandfather's Colt. I've told this story, but it's a Colt, an original Colt, 1911. Had the safety pinned on it, and it was in 45. And I was 7 years old when I shot that. And my grandfather told me out of the mag, I think it held, this particular one held 7 rounds of 45. And out of the mag, I couldn't miss more than 2 shots. And it was a fence post, I don't know, probably about that big around. And it was, I don't know, 7 or 8 yards away. And he had shown me how to line up the sights and everything. And he said, you can only miss 2. And sure enough, I hit 5. So that was my first real pistol I ever shot. Rifles, I'd shot 22. Shit, I think I was 5. Shot my first shotgun, and it was a 10 gauge when I was like 11, and he made me stand up against a tree to shoot that one. And I like broke my damn arm just about. I mean, I was always a big kid, tall kid, but 10 gauges weren't fun to shoot back in the day. Let's see here. Who wins in a skills challenge? Taryn Butler, Jerry Michalik, or Bob Munden? Ooh. I mean, hell, they're all good. I'd probably still take Jerry. I think he still does the most now. And I will say this: Taryn doesn't really compete anymore that I've seen, and he knows his range like the back of his hand because it's his range, so he can just shower that thing. But Jerry still competes, goes to matches, sees different stages. So I would still give it to Jerry. Plus, he's got way more wisdom and experience over all of those guys. Man, and I've said this numerous times, I wish Jerry was my grandpa. That would be awesome. Wonder who coached Jerry. I have no idea. I started shooting at 7, still haven't hit anything. Yeah, I mean now, and it shows in my videos. And I mean, I've admitted it on live chats before. When I was younger, I shot Steel Challenge, um, and you had to be, what was it? You had to be 16 years old to compete. I won't say the county because it'll give it away where I live, but um, in a certain county, I'll say it's a northern county of Texas. They used to have a steel challenge, and my dad used to drive me to it. And you had to be 16 years old to compete in it. And it was a bunch of older guys, like grandpa type guys. And I was 14, and I shot in it. And it was a lot of fun. It was like bullseyes slash steel challenges. And it was a lot of fun. And I did very well at it, learned a lot from those guys. And, I've never officially had lessons, I guess you could say, or training or whatever you want to say. But it was a lot of fun, and I was actually a really good shot. But over the years, since I have gotten older, and I'll admit it, I don't hide anything, I've got a slight tremor. So I don't have, like even when I hold the pistol out there, I can watch the dot and I can see it, kind of shaking a little bit. And that's from my tremor. I mean, nothing's wrong with me. I don't have like brain issues or anything. It's just a tremor. So it shows in my shooting. That's why I don't shoot holes inside of holes. I never claim to. I'm not a bullseye shooter anymore. I'm just combat effective, and I'm just myself. So that's what I do, and that's how I am. So it is what it is. Yeah, Jerry's not human. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. That's funny, with all the binary triggers and stuff. Everybody was like, "Yeah, his trigger should or his finger should be outlawed," because he does have a fast ass trigger. But yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to hide anything. I mean, it happens to the best of us. I'm sure it's not going to get any better. Probably going to get worse, but still enjoying it. But I get questions every once in a while. They'll be like, "Man, I could shoot a better group." But this is someone who does not have a YouTube channel at all, and they're just talking shit. But oh, I could shoot holes in holes at that distance you were shooting at 10 yards or whatever. Your group's not that great. And I'm like, I show the good and the bad. I don't have anything to hide. And you know, and I have told a few of them, I'm like, well, you don't even have any videos up. Put up or shut up. So show your work before you start bitching. And they never put up videos, and they never come back and say anything else. So they don't want to prove it. But anything else that y'all can think of that y'all would like to talk about? Oh, and also I have set up my bags. My Lynx Defense, I've got the big Concord pistol bag, and then I've got my smaller Lynx bag. Lynx Defense makes awesome bags, rifle and pistol bags, but I'm setting up a separate 22 pistol bag, Lynx bag. So I'll have, when I go to the range, if I want to take 9mm, I've got that bag, or if I want to take 22s, I'll have that bag. And if I want to maybe throw a couple of 2011 mags in each one, or I've got a bunch in one, but if I want to throw some 2011 mags and maybe some 9mm ammo in the 22, so I could shoot a couple of mags or two or three mags to stay proficient. I'll do that at that time. But I just move my hearing protection back and forth. I've had a lot of people ask about my hearing protection and what I wear. I've got the old electronic razors. I really don't wear those anymore. If y'all have been seeing the videos, there's an orange plug in each one of my ears with a string on it, and I'll do a video if anybody wants. But the neat thing about these is they're actually poured, custom molded to my ears. You don't buy them and heat them up and stick them in your ear or any of that kind of crap. They actually take the crap and they squirt it in your ear, in both ears, and you sit there like a moron for like 20 minutes. And then they put the little, strap in there. You can get them solid, or you can get them with a hole drilled in them, and then it has a little fiber tube. And what it does is, when you're like, I can hear I can hear people talk. Not I wouldn't say as good as Electronic Ear Pro, but what it does is when the noise comes in, it actually vibrates in that tube. I don't feel it, but it vibrates in that tube and it dampens gunshots. I've shot it with my 308 with no outer ears. I've shot it with my 308 unsuppressed. I've shot it 300 blackout unsuppressed, and I've shot 5.56 unsuppressed, and they work great. So they do come to my gun shop at Texas Gun Experience periodically, and she actually custom makes them there for you. You can pick your colors. You can get blue, green, pink, orange, whatever the hell you want. She'll even mix up a special color where it's kind of swirly, like a tie-dye, or you can just get black, and you can get them solid or with that little vibration straw. That's what it looks like. It looks like a little tube built in it. They're very reasonable. I think they're like $120. They're reusable. You actually screw them like into your ear canal. They go like into your ear. There's a left and a right. Red is right, blue is left. And you literally twist them into your ear and lift your ear up and kind of tuck them in. And they work great. And I've been using those things for almost a year now. You can watch all the videos and see them in there. And you'll hear gunshots all around me and doesn't bother me. So I'm really liking them. Channel Cat Chaser's been giving me shit about my hair. My hair is freaking long as hell. Matter of fact, if it wasn't gelled back, it hangs down to about right here. It's freaking long as shit. My wife wanted me to grow it out. I used to have long hair back in the day. I even had a mohawk way, way back when. Had a mohawk with the, I don't know, the tail, whatever you want to call it. It was back when I played football and stuff. And we met in college, and that was what I had. So she's like, you have a full head of hair, and it's nice, and you need to grow it out. And so I was like, okay. So it is getting pretty freaking long, though. So yeah, we're not going to do any head banging because I'll probably get a damn headache. But yeah, it's definitely long. I look like a hippie. Big J, you have to be fast, especially at the convenience stores. Yeah, I got to stay away from those places. I always get the crazies. Food shortages can be very real. Plan ahead. Hungry folks who will not worry about it, about you dying as compared to them, will be lurking. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Be on the ready. Mullet. That's what my wife originally wanted me to get. She said, grow your hair out and have a mullet like I did way back in the day. I even have pictures of it, but I will never show them. And I was like, I'm not going to have a professional mullet. So mohawk. Yeah. Big J, have you had your hearing tested lately? You will be surprised how much you've lost. Yeah, I mean, I know I've lost some hearing. I know that over the years, with shooting and stuff. And I've even said this before. I got it, and I know that I got it from Houston. And I tested positive for lead poisoning. I even talked about it in a video way back when. I didn't know this, but I went to my doctor. I was feeling really weird. I was feeling tired. I was feeling like just really crappy. And so I went to my doctor, and he's like, what you're explaining could be lead poisoning. Let's do a blood test. Let's check your lead levels. Because I told him, hey, I shoot and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, okay. And I said, I haven't been tested for lead, for lead. And he said, well, have you been eating paint chips? I mean, he was kind of freaked out at first. And I was like, no, I shoot a lot and, inside shooting ranges and stuff, even when I'm traveling. So anyway, they did a blood test and it came back and I was way elevated. You're supposed to have like a 1 to, I don't know, it's like a 1 to a 2 or a 0 to a 2. And mine was a 24. I actually have it in writing. So he was like, holy shit. Well, when you do a lead test, and I did not know this, or I would have told him don't do this shit, but when you do a lead test and you test positive for lead, they have to send your information to the state that you live in, which is the state of Texas for me. I got a letter from the state of Texas wanting to know what water I drank, what house I'm living in, all this other shit. I'm not going to tell the state of Texas that I'm shoot and that I do all this because it's none of their damn business. So anyway, make a long story short, I never replied to the letter and I never heard back from them. So I just left it alone. But periodically, I still have them check my lead levels and they've been fine since. But what did it is I went to a range in Houston. They had shitty ventilation. If you look at this range, I mean, I even think I shot a video there way back when. But if you look at this range, it looks like a red barn. It's in Houston. It's freaking ghetto as hell. The ventilation system sucks. The whole ceiling is black. And when I came out of there from shooting for about an hour and a half with Alex, it's a guy on Instagram, back when I used to do Instagram, I mean, I couldn't even breathe and my eyes were watering like hell. And I was like, man, something's not right. And that's when all this shit started. So there you go. Hey, what's up, Tactical Firearms? How are you doing, man? Well, we've got about 5 minutes left. Hello, Mrs. Hotshot. Okay, thank you. I appreciate y'all checking in here. I don't know about that. State of Texas knows Big J Abbott is a subscriber. No, I doubt that. I have met him. He was a very cordial person, so I've met him in person. Met him at a car deal. So nice guy. An indoor range near me was shut down due to the amount of lead that was detected. Yeah, this place is old as shit. So if any of y'all live in Houston and it's like this big red long barn and they've got like a shorter range up front, they got a longer range in the back, but it's all in one building with a little tiny gun shop. Matter of fact, what's funny is when I went in there, two of the guys that worked there actually were subscribers and watched my videos. But that place is a freaking train wreck. So, and I'm not knocking it. I'm just like, man, that shit's bad. And Texas Gun Experience has a best filtration system. Like you can watch when I shoot and you'll see the smoke come out and then it just starts flying down range with their ventilation system. It's amazing. Yes. Yeah, I always wondered if the ammo handle, if I'll ever have an issue with lead. Yes. Definitely wash your hands after you mess with any kind of ammo or after you clean guns. Really wash your hands. Just get that shit out of there because it can cause issues. Because you have it on your hands and you're touching your face or touching your mouth or whatever. You don't want that crap in there. Let's see here. You need to put the blue spot on that nice buck you have over the door. Oh yeah, I named that buck Billy Jack. I shot him. Shit, it's probably been 15 years ago. I've got other ones around in the house too. He's not one of the biggest ones, but I shot him quite a while ago. Hell, it might be 20 years ago for him. On the back of that plaque that's on there, I've got the date and all that shit on there. I just don't want to pull it down to find out. Anyone having light primer strikes with the Timney Glock trigger? I have heard of this. They supposedly have two springs. One is a competition spring and the other one is a heavier spring, I think. You might need that heavier spring. I think one is definitely lighter, but that's probably what's causing it. Especially if you have hard primers, it'll cause that issue. Hard primers on the ammo is what I'm meaning. Let us know if your wife likes to shoot the Taurus TX22. Yes, I definitely will. Definitely will. Use rubber gloves. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the, cleaning stuff I use, it's not that bad. But, back in the day, I used to use a lot of acetone. I mean, with cars, a lot of acetone carburetor cleaner, shit like that. And that stuff is nasty. I mean, it's really bad for your liver too. Yep. Use lead off. They make those little wipes you can get. They're kind of like little hand wipes and it's lead off and, you can clean your hands. I just really try to scrub the shit out of them. I've got that, what is it, orange? I used it back when I was a technician too. That crushed orange shit, and it works really good. But yeah, lead off. They even make a soap that has that grit in it, and it's red, and it's a lead removal or a carbon removal. Do I see a lot of open carry in Texas? Honestly, not really. I don't see a lot of open carry in Texas. I see it sometimes, and sometimes in Oklahoma, but it's not as much as you think it would. And I will say this: I'm not trying to knock anyone because they have the right to do what they want. But a lot of the open carry that I see, and I'm just going to be honest, it's very fuddy. And what I'm meaning is they're using like shit holsters, like these Uncle Mike jicky ass holsters, or they're using Serpa holsters, which are garbage. Do not ever use a Serpa holster because you have to push the button as you pull your hand out. You're pushing the button, pulling the gun, and your finger falls into the trigger guard. So screw Serpa holsters. Matter of fact, if you're using a Serpa holster on the range, I would recommend just detaching the Serpa little, the little poker thing on the inside. Just remove that mechanism and just use it like a regular bucket. Serpa holsters are freaking hot garbage. And I see people walking around with Serpa holsters, at the 3 o'clock position, and I'm just like, holy shit. So that's what I see. It's not a lot, but I do see it sometimes. Make an X indentation in the tip of your ammunition so when it hits your target, it splits apart inside your target. Yeah, that's kind of old wise tales, but I've heard of people saying that before. Oh, here we go. My wife shot her first steel challenge match with a TX22 and finished fourth in rimfire pistol iron sight. Hey, congratulations, Channel Cat. Tell your wife, congratulations. That's awesome, man. Very first steel challenge, you got fourth place. That's awesome. A good barbecue holster. Yeah, I mean, I have. Well, no, I don't. I got rid of it. I had a really nice tooled leather one. Matter of fact, when I sold my Les Bear, my custom, or no, yeah, my custom Les Bear, um, I sold him the holster too. But it was a custom tooled leather holster, and it was definitely a barbecue holster. And but yeah, that's what those are for. I don't really carry in leather. Back in the day, everybody did, and that's kind of what we did. But leather can absorb moisture and things like that, so you can have some issues over time. It can damage your finish, and leather contains moisture and dust, so it will actually scratch your gun. A Kydex holster, you can just rinse it out, wash it out, you're good to go. So anyway, all right. Well, I don't want to interfere with anybody else's chat because I know there's one. I think Chris is having one over on his channel. If you want to tune into him, I think I just got an alert for it, so I don't want to impede on him. But I appreciate y'all so much. If you have any questions after the chat, please leave them. I'll make sure and answer them. But I appreciate y'all. Leave thumbs up, leave questions. If I can help, I'll be glad to. Yes, Fina, I'm growing my hair out. But y'all have a great night. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Carry on, gun nation.